All right, what is up, everybody? We are back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Opening night was last night. We are back. The NBA season is here. I'm so excited for another year of NBA basketball. Last night was opening night. I had some interesting things go down, so we're going to talk all about it here in today's video. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. If you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, turn notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. Really upset a lot. Join the membership. If you want to learn more about the membership, there's a video on my channel explaining all of it. You can go back and watch that. Link to my Twitters, all that stuff down in the description below. And yeah, don't waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So we start off with Celtics and Knicks, the first game of the season. Celtics got their rings. At the ring ceremony, put the banner, number 18, up in the stands. And yeah, just amazing moment from them. And then we get to the game, and they continue. They have that energy, and Boston just absolutely dominates New York 132 to 109. They hit 29 threes, tying the NBA record. They did miss like 11 or 12 threes at the end of the game to break the record. They were just kind of pulling threes whenever they could, and it just didn't work. They attempted 61 threes last night, which I know Joe Mazzulla is so happy about that. But yeah, they just dominated so many other places as well. I mean, obviously the 3-pointers, 29 to 11. When you hit 29 threes, you're not going to lose games. The rebounding, they won 40 to 34. The offensive rebounding was huge, 11 to 5 offensive rebounds. We give a team like this second chance opportunities, especially to shoot from three. With the guys they have, guys like Derek White, Al Horford, Drew Holiday, like you're not gonna win like that. The assists, they dominated 30 to 20 or 33 to 20. Jason Tatum had 10 of those assists, and the turnovers, I mean, they only had 4 and forced 12. They just had an amazing game. And Jason Tatum was absolutely amazing. 37 points, 10 assists, shot 14 for 18, hit 8 3-pointers. This might be a revenge tour for Jason Tatum. We all know the playoffs, he wasn't shooting the best, didn't play in the Olympic run. A lot of people have a lot of stuff to say about Jason Tatum. And could this be the year where he's finally like, okay, you know what? I'm going to shut everybody up and have this type of MVP season? If it is, I'm here for it, honestly. I'm here for Jason Tatum coming out and having a crazy season and just shutting everybody up. I'm really here for it. But yeah, he just had an amazing game. The shot, we know about the kind of change his jump shot very, very slightly, but it looks a lot more fluid now. It's not like a sling shot. It looks a lot more, like a one motion, which is good. And then the playmaking was there, and he just had that intensity all game. Derek White, 24 points. He hit 6 3-pointers, doing Derek White things. Hit a lot of just catch and shoot, just firing. He took 10 threes. He was just firing it up, and it was going in. Jaylen Brown, 23 points, 7 rebounds, doing his thing. Jrue Holiday, 18, 4 and 4, hit 4 3-pointers. Love what I saw from Jrue Holiday, just doing Jrue Holiday things. 11 for Al Horford. Sam Hauser had 10 points off the bench. It was a dominant game for the Boston Celtics all around. The three ball was hitting, getting second chance opportunities. Defensively, they were locked in as well, which is a very good thing about the Celtic team. And from day one, I mean, they showed the entire world, like, hey, like we're still here. Like we won a championship last year, I know that, but we're better now. Like we're here, we're ready to defend this championship, and we're shutting everybody up this year. So it could get scary. It could get scary. Boston, probably. I mean, if there's any team that's gonna have the best record in the league, most likely it's gonna be either Boston or OKC, in my opinion. But Boston having this game one, insane. We don't want to overreact to opening night, obviously, but if this is what's to come for Boston for the rest of the season, man, uh, they're probably going back to back. But just game one. Man, for the Knicks, not the greatest game. Defensively, just didn't really look there, which I don't really, not super surprised. I mean, this is their first real game with Karl Anthony Towns in there. Karl Anthony Towns being the big and kind of things changing up defensively. Obviously, it's going to take some time to adjust. Jalen Brunson had a solid game, 22 points, shot 9 for 14. Miles McBride was amazing. Hit 4 3-pointers, was 8 for 10 from the field, 22 points off the bench. He was such an amazing spark plug, and I'm going to be very excited to see him now in this kind of six-man role, I guess, for the Knicks. That's going to be very, very exciting to see. And then, yeah, Josh Hart, 12, 4 and 3. He was a solid. Karl Anthony Towns at 12, 5 for 9. Only took 2 3-pointers, though. They were using him in the post a lot. There's a lot of him in the post with a lot of spacing around him, which I really like. But I just wish he would have probably took a lot more threes, was more aggressive on that end. I mean, we know how great of a shooter he is. But it's going to take some time to really get him to adjust to being with the Knicks. So I'm not really worried about it. Mikal Bridges, 16 points, shot 7 for 13. Had a bad first half. Was 0 for 5, 0 for 4 from 3 in the first half. Didn't score. Then had a really good third quarter. Hit a couple 3-pointers. Looked like his shot changed midway through the game. Like, literally, we know about the Mikal Bridges jump shot in this offseason, how it has not looked good. In the preseason, it was horrible. In the first half of this game, it was horrible as well. But then the second half, it looked a lot quicker and a lot better. So maybe he made a small adjustment at halftime. And maybe, hopefully, he get back to being the Mikal Bridges that we know, as a really good 3-point shooter. But yeah, OG had a bad game, 1 for 7, over 4 for 3. Besides Jericho, besides Miles McBride, Cameron Payne had 11, I guess, but just not really much for the Knicks. The defensively, they just were not there, weren't as aggressive. They were letting Boston kind of shoot, like off a pick and roll, off a big. They weren't. Coffee Towns was just kind of dropping. They weren't playing the switch. They were just playing kind of like the, all right, Cat, stay there for a second, and then the defender's gonna come back. Like they weren't really up. Like Jason Tatum, like dang near all of his threes came off just a pick and roll, and either Towns or Jericho Sims didn't step up, and he just had a wide open, basically three ball. But New York, I'm not really worried about it. First game, it's gonna take some time, especially with that big of a change with Karl Anthony Towns in there. Mikal now new into the team. Like it's gonna take some time for them to really get adjusted to it, which is also the same for Minnesota, who we're gonna talk about in a couple minutes. So I'm not really super worried about this New York Knicks team, but Boston, man, just absolutely amazing performance to start off the season as the reigning champs on ring night, coming out and just balling. So shout out to Boston. And then we had Lakers and Timberwolves play. The Lakers end up getting the win, 110-103. Their first opening night win in a very long time. But very exciting game from the Lakers. First, we're going to talk about the moment. Bron and Bronny checking into the game. Bronny playing the last almost 3 minutes of the first half. Just an awesome moment to see, man. It's crazy. LeBron and Bronny are playing together. Like, that's absolutely wild to think about. Credit or shout out to them, the James family, for that moment. That was just absolutely awesome to see that moment, despite what other people say online or whatever. That was a really, really, really cool moment to see. But now let's get into the actual game. Lakers end up winning this, and I was very impressed by this Lakers team. JJ Redick obviously now is the new head coach. We saw in the preseason little glimpses of a lot more movement, a lot better offense. See what JJ Redick's been saying. But to see it actually in action against a really good Minnesota Timberwolves team was really nice to see. Anthony Davis, absolutely amazing game. 36, 16, and 4 with 3 blocks. Shot 11 for 23, 13 for 15 from the free throw line. He was amazing. Like, he was just, he was being aggressive very early. It definitely seemed like early they were trying to establish Anthony Davis in there and kind of be like, all right, AD, go at it. Go at Rudy, Like, every time something would break down, they would give the ball to him. He was facing up, trying to attack the basket. The little mid-ranges were good. He had a 3-ball. Just getting to the free throw line. He took 15 free throws. He took more actually, no, he didn't take more free throws than Minnesota. Minnesota took a lot of free throws. But he was just absolutely dominant from there. And he was everywhere, it felt like, on the court. Like, he was contesting shots and going to get the rebound. Defensively, he was doing really good at protecting the paint. Like, Anthony Davis just had a great performance, man. And it's really important for him to get off to a really good start, especially with the way it looks like. It looked like JJ Redick and the Lakers this game, it was trying to establish AD and everybody else early and kind of let LeBron just kind of chill. Like, LeBron kind of chilled throughout this game. It was really just AD and the others, and which is going to be so huge for the playoffs, obviously, and for the postseason, for what if they want to achieve the goals that they have on themselves. Is getting Anthony Davis, getting all NBA type Anthony Davis, and then having the others be comfortable. Rui Hachimura had an amazing game as well. 18 points, 5 rebounds, shot 7 for 14. He was aggressive very early on. Had the first couple points for the Lakers. Had a couple dunks. Really good cuts. Was playing really good defense as well. I really loved what I saw from Rui Hachimura out there. He's a plus 19, the highest in the entire game. I really love what I saw from Rui, and they can get him going. That would be nice. And then, yeah, Bron, 16, 5, and 4, shot 7 for 16. He had a 3 to kind of ice the game late. Austin Reeves, 12, 9, and 4. He had 4 offensive rebounds. Even though the shot wasn't really falling from 3, he was making an impact, getting the offensive rebounds, which is a big thing for the Lakers. The Lakers won the offensive rebounding battle 15-12. A lot of their points were second chance points and fast break points. They forced 16 turnovers from Minnesota. Forced 16 turnovers. Only had 7. That's huge. And even though the 3-ball wasn't falling, the Lakers shot 5 for 30 from 3. yet still end up winning by 7 and were comfortably in control of this game. Like that says a lot about the rebounding, the second chance points, like all those little points, little things like that, points in the paint, second chance points, fast break points, points off turnovers, just winning those little battles. It's just so huge for an entirety of the game. And then Jackson Hayes, I like the Jackson Hayes minutes as well. 10 and 4, 4 for 5 from the field. They were using a lot of him and Anthony Davis running two bigs out there, using the athleticism of Jackson Hayes was really cool. And the Lakers also they're kind of in zone at some points throughout the game. Like definitely just kind of switching up defenses, being a man, then all of a sudden just going into a zone for one possession. There's a possession where Anthony Davis was on the perimeter in the middle of the zone, and LeBron was just in the paint. Like that was interesting to see. A lot of movement, a lot of off-ball screen to get Anthony Davis, easy looks in the paint with no one else around. Movements to get easy, off-screen corner threes. Like the Lakers, it looked really fun. It looked really, really good, and I'm very excited to see this Laker team now for the rest of the season after watching this game because it's like, man, if it's gonna look like this, like this could be a really good team. Now back on Minnesota's side, Anthony Edwards, 27, 6 and 3, had a very solid game, 10 for 25. He was trying, man. That was one thing he was trying, especially at the end of the game where they were down like 9, middle fourth quarter. He was like, all right, I gotta go take some shots and try to get myself going. Julius Randle, not the greatest debut, 16, 9 and 4, shot 5 for 10. The numbers don't look bad, but watching him on the court, it was kind of tough. Definitely looked like at some points it was either he was being way too passive and just trying to get in where he fits in, or being way too aggressive. Like there was literally, this is the Julius Randle experience. And by the way, also I streamed this game live on this channel. I did a watch along here. If you want, you can go. The VOD is still on the channel. You can go and watch. I put a scoreboard up and all that, and we talked through this entire game. But Randle literally had the Julius Randle experience. It was this game. Like he had one play where he had a sidestep 3 on Jackson Hayes, where he probably could have just drove by him or whatever, but he took a sidestep 3 and it went in. So it's like, hey, okay, Julius. 2 plays later, ball moves around, ball moves. He gets a wide open wing 3. He doesn't take the 3. Instead, he waits for LeBron to close out, pump fakes, drives on Bron, goes right into his chest, and it's offensive foul. And it's like, all right, Julius. And then defensively, also, he was not there. Minnesota in general, just not a good defensive game for them. Transition, they were losing that battle. Looked kind of lazy getting back in transition. A lot of miscommunication on that end. Again, just like I said with the Knicks, it's going to take a little bit of time for Minnesota to kind of really adjust and for Julius Randle to really get involved in this team because, again, this move was made. The Timberwolves only played like one preseason game together with this team. So it's going to take a little while for them to really get involved, but hopefully Julius Randle is more engaged the next couple games, especially on the defensive end, because Minnesota, for them to be a good regular season team, for them to hit the points that we expect them to hit, it was their defense. I mean, they were the best defensive team last season. And so if they can't replicate that, it's going to, well, not replicate it, but they can't be somewhere around that, it's going to be very, very tough. And then, yeah, Rudy, 13 and 14, he was a solid game. Mike Conley, not a good game, 20 minutes, 5 points, shot 1 for 7, 0 for 5 from 3. Just looked not good out there, minus 22, worse on the court. Jaden McDaniels was in foul trouble the entire game, so he couldn't really stay out there. The bench was solid, though. DiVincenzo, I mean, he only shot 3 for 11, 2 for 8 from 3, but he was taking them. Nikhil had a good game, 14 points, hit 3 threes off the bench. Naz Reid had 12 points. Ran a very tight rotation as well. Only 9 players. I mean, Joe Ingles played almost 7 minutes in the first half, and that's it. No Rob Dillingham, no Luka Garza, no Josh Minott, none of that. So I guess Minnesota is really trying to treat this kind of like a playoff game in a sort of sense. But really excited to have the NBA back. Man, tonight is going to be another kind of opening night, I guess, where almost every other team is going to have their first games. Tonight it's going to be so exciting. I can't wait to watch, and we're going to have all the coverage here on the channel as daily as possible. You know, there might not be a video out. Well, there's going to be a video Thursday, but it's going to be kind of a late video on Thursday, honestly, because of scheduling issues from on my end. But I'm going to be very excited to watch these games. The NBA is back, and we're going to have it all here on this channel. I can't wait. And yeah, it's going to be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn on notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. Really upset a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.